against the standard and the correction of deviation to assure attainment of human behavior and employee morale. Now, all these three, that is employee morale. Now, the importance of controlling, the first one here, which I told you, was accomplishing organization. Now, controlling is all about comparing the actual performance, and you will compare with the standard performance. That is how it is. So they will go with the standard, and if they go for the standard, now the company will pay them. That can be a reward, incentives, bonus, promotion. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I'm Vidhyaashram from the Department of Commerce and Management in Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence. Welcome to the 5th chapter, and that is called controlling. Now here students, in this chapter, I'm going to teach you about more of what exactly controlling is all about, the techniques of controlling, the functions, the process, advantages, limitations of controlling. And this chapter gonna fetch you 30 marks. That is, you will get a question for 15 marks, you will get a question for 10 marks, and then you will also get a question for 5 marks. So totally this chapter weightage is 30 marks. Now understand the beauty of this chapter. Very easy to understand, and to score, I'll tell you, it is like a cakewalk. You can get 30 on 30 from this chapter very easily. So let's go with the first one, that is the meaning of controlling. So what exactly controlling is all about? When we understand the word controlling, we should always see to it that whether it is the process or is it just a function of management. And then you'll be surprised. It's a function of management as well as it's a process. The reason here you need to understand is, many people say that controlling is the last functions of management, but I always disagree this, because you need to have controlling in each and every steps in the management. That is, while you're planning, you are supposed to have a controlling factor. When you go for organizing or staffing or directing, you should actually have the process called controlling. And controlling is a process. The reason is, round the clock, you are supposed to have your human resources, your finance, your financial and the physical resources in controlled format. Now, when we go for this, we always understand that how will you measure controlling? So the meaning of controlling is as simple as that. That is, controlling is a function and it's a process where they compare the actual performance with the predetermined standards. Now, the standards are set by the top management. So here what happens is, the controlling function compares the actual performance with predetermined standards, finds out deviation and attempts to take corrective measures. That is what controlling is all about. Say example, right? Now you have your employees and they are supposed to work for you. And now controlling how this happens, I'll just tell you here. Say your employees are there, they are supposed to finish some targets, they are supposed to achieve few targets. Say example, they are supposed to make 200 calls in a day, right? They are supposed to make 200 calls in a day. And this is called the standard. Why? Because it is set by the company. This is the standards. Now your employees have actually, they have performed say 1000, sorry, not 1000, it's like 180 calls. They have made how much? 180 calls. Now what is controlling? Is it you have a very good effective or efficient controlling system? Now let's check. Controlling is a process of comparing actual. So that means the first thing is actual will come first. Minus. Whenever you go with compare, it is all about negative, and standard is how much? 200. So you go with minus 20. Now there is, this is called, the minus 20 is called deviation, and you are supposed to rectify these deviation. That is called controlling. Say one more example if we go with it. Now let's take another example where standard, they told you that you are supposed to make 200 calls. Actual, you have made 220 calls. Now let's go with the second example where we will understand. Now actual minus standard, Now that means what? 220 is that minus 200, which is 28 positive. Now will you rectify the deviation? No. They are doing good. That means your controlling system is very effective. That is, your employees are doing more. They are going for more productivity. Now you will not control them. Next one, eventually this process helps in formulation of future plans too. Thus, controlling function helps in bringing the management cycle back to planning. Now here, next time what happens is, you will not introduce your standard for 200 calls. You know that your employees are capable of making 220 calls. So what you will do is, your standards will be more than 200. Your standards will be more than 220. Say example 250. That means what? You are now formulating the planning. This is what the use of controlling is. That is the meaning of controlling. And we'll go with the next one, that is definition. Now, according to Kuntz and O'Donnell, managerial control implies the measurement of accomplishment against the standard and the correction of deviation to assure attainment of objectives according to plans. The same way they're actually telling you that it's comparison about the actual performance with the standard performance. If there is any deviation, you are supposed to rectify, and your main aim is to fulfill or to achieve the objective what the top management have decided. According to Dale, control is the process of bringing about conformity of performance with planned action. That is what he has explained you. Now the importance of controlling. Let's check the importance of controlling one by one. The first one here is accomplishing organizational goals. Second is judging accuracy of standards. Third is making efficient use of resources. Improving employee motivation. The employees get motivated here. Ensuring orders and discipline. And the last one is facilitating coordination in action. So these are the importance of controlling. We'll check one by one what exactly these are. Now the importance of controlling, the first one here which I told you was accomplishing organizational goal. Now controlling helps in comparing, that I have already told you, the actual performance with the predetermined standard, finding out deviation and taking corrective measures to ensure that the activities are performed. The activities are performed according to plans. Thus, it helps in achieving organizational goals. So that means what? You know what is that you are supposed to do. You know how to get the things done through your employees. If your employees are not capable of doing it, again you know that how to make them or how to motivate them so that they can work for the success of the plan. So that is the reason it is always what? Goal oriented. Next is judging accuracy of standards. Judging accuracy of standard. Now an efficient control system helps in judging the accuracy of the standard. In further helps in reviewing and revising the standards according to the changes in the organization and the environment. Now I told you about this. That is, say 200 calls you are supposed to make, and your employees were making how much? 220 calls. Now you can go for reviewing and revising the standard. Now what happened? The next time when you plan, you will not plan for 200 calls, you will plan for 250 calls. That is how you will actually go for the judging accuracy. Next one is making efficient use of resources. Making efficient use of resources. Controlling checks the working of employees at each and every stage of operation. Hence, it ensures effective and efficient use of the resource in an organization with minimum wastage or spoilage. So, you will not waste more, nor you will actually spoil more. And the reason here is to avoid those wastage, to avoid those spoilage, you are going with controlling system. Improving employee motivation. How will your employee get motivated? See, try to understand. Whenever you start comparing, what happens is, now they know that what is that they are supposed to do and what is that they are not supposed to do it. So when it comes to that kind of a way, here what happens is, the employees get motivated because they always will compare with the other employees, that what they are doing. And if you are paying your employees the remuneration which they are working for, now definitely your employees will get that attraction of the reward and the compensation or the performance appraisal which happens there. Now employees know the standards against which their performance will be judged. Systematic evaluation of performance and consequent rewards in the form of increment, bonus, promotion, etc. will be given, that is motivate the employees to put their best effort. So they know that what the company wants from us. So they'll go with the standard, and if they go for the standard, now the company will pay them. That can be a reward, incentives, bonus, promotion, benefits, any kind of a thing, right? That is how they'll actually get motivated and they'll work more productively. Ensuring order. Now what is it? Ensuring order and discipline. Now where discipline is there, I'll tell you, you can achieve the objective. Where discipline is not there, you can't achieve your objective. Now controlling ensures a close check on the activities of your employees. Hence it helps in reducing the dishonest. Behavior of employees and in creating order and discipline in an organization. When you go for a regular checkup, what happens is, your employees also know that the management is keeping an eye on them and they will never go for any dishonest or they will never go for any fraudulent activity. Facilitating coordination in action. Now controlling helps in providing common directions to all the activities of different departments and efforts of individuals for attaining the organizational objective. So here what happens is, controlling will only focus on two things. One is what? It's all about the comparison and giving a fair system, that is called qualitative or quantitative. And the next one is it only strives for achieving the objective. So here what happens is, when we go with the facilitating coordination or ensuring order or discipline, what really happens is, they only want to make the employee aware about what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do it. Now, and one more thing, when it happens in any of the company, if controlling system is not proper, then it leads to informal organization. So controlling is always a tool which can actually make informal system as well as the formal system effective. So the more you have controlling system in your company or in your business firm, the informal organization will be nullified and you will actually get something called formal, and you have people who will work for the company productively, efficiently, as well as they will also work honestly. So the reason is, controlling system is very good and people have always an eye over each and every employee. So next we have is the limitations of controlling. So when we go with the limitations of controlling, please understand we have 4 limitations of controlling. That is, the first one is difficulty in setting quantitative standards, no control on external factors, resistance from employee, and costly affair. Yes, controlling is a costly affair. There are employees who are not so good. They will always have resistance over controlling. Internal factors are there which can actually be taken care, but external factor cannot be controlled, and it is definitely a very difficult in setting quantitative standards. Now when you go with quantitative, what really happens is, you are supposed to have accuracy, and to get that accuracy, it is very, very difficult. So the first one here is difficulty in setting quantitative standards. Please understand, here we have qualitative as well as quantitative. So it becomes very difficult to compare the actual performance with the predetermined standard if these standards are not expressed in quantitative terms. This is especially so in the areas of job satisfaction, human behavior, and employee morale. Now, all these three, that is employee morale, human behavior, and job satisfaction, cannot be represented as quantitative standards. The reason is it is all qualitative standards. And qualitative you can never measure, but quantitative you can. But how can you represent a qualitative factor in a quantitative? Very, very difficult it is. Next is no control on external factor. That means an organization fails to have control on external factor like technological changes, competition, government policies, changes in taste of consumers, etc. The reason here why you cannot actually control this is they are all the macro factors. When we go for a macro factor, so the external factors here, what really happens is you are doing your business, but because of the change in the technology, change in the consumer's behavior and consumer's attitude, now you cannot control your business. So that is the reason controlling is a failure when it comes to the external factors. After that, we have the next two, that is resistance from employee. Often employees resist the control system since they consider them as curbs on their freedom. For example, surveillance through closed circuit television, that is the CCTV. Now, many of you really don't knew that what exactly CCTV is. CCTV in the sense here, we have something called the closed circuit television. That is why it is called CCTV. Now, costly affairs. Controlling involves a lot of expenditure, time and effort, thus it is a costly affair. Managers are required to ensure that the cost involved in installing and operating a control system should not be more than the benefit expected from it. So whenever they go for any of the controlling system, here what happens is, say example, 2 lakh rupees you have invested for controlling system. Now, if you are getting a profit only of 50,000 rupees, now that is a waste. That is what they always feel. So you are supposed to have, if like controlling system, you have gone for 2 lakh rupees, at least you should make a profit of 5 lakh to 6 lakh rupees. Then they feel that controlling system is useful. That's the reason we go with a demerit, that is called costly affair. Definitely for any MNC company, any business, because of government rules and regulation, we are supposed to have these CCTV cameras and the footage also. But here what it is, from your pocket the money goes out. But what is the benefit? Also have told you, the limitations also have told you. Let me tell you, more than the limitations, controlling have a lot of importance and benefits. That's the reason controlling system is very, very important. It is one of the functions of management. If you have any doubt regarding the students, please do call us. We are always there to help you. Thank you so much. I'll see you when I see you.